So something that's always been really important in my classes, whether it's from third grade to sixth or even 12th grade, is 3D modeling. And 3D modeling really offers a lot of robust and just rich experiences for kids. And I also tie these to equity because when I've used 3D modeling, I've always seen kids that weren't traditionally successful or weren't successful in the traditional classroom be um, beyond successful and meet my expectations in ways that really were kind of extraordinary, and I'm going to share some of these examples with you. So this first one here, this was in a middle school, and during the math and science, we had some enrichment activities that the kids would do, and we implemented a genius hour, and this was a 3D model that one of the students had actually made. Now this student, I remember particularly, would regularly put their head down and say that the content was too difficult, and I know it was because this particular school was a school that was really struggling with very low scores. But when I was able to introduce some of these components, this is what the student came out with, and I'll walk you through how you can actually create something like this in a little bit. But again, this was like mind-blowing that this student came up with this, and then we were able to hook them with this type of creating into the content that they were supposed to be learning. And I'll give you more specifics on how I was able to hook them. This was another student. This student was a very, very high achieving student, but they created this one as well. And it's funny because I asked both of them, how did you know all the pieces? And they laughed and said, we went on Google Earth and saw the houses. And so one of them was a grandma's house, another one was their own house. How did we hook them? So this is from another student, and this student particularly had a lot of struggles with sitting down, with getting the work going, and was struggling with a lot of basic math facts as well. And what we would do here is they would construct a home, and then we started talking about what would the area be of the driveway, what would the perimeter of the driveway be. And then what we actually did is we took these kids to teach, this was middle school kids, so we took them down to work with the third and fourth grade class, and then teach the younger kids how to create 3D models and then create those mathematical questions. So what they were in essence doing is they were creating the artifacts that they would then use to teach the content to somebody that was younger than them and that was also struggling. And that's one of the key components, that somebody has to be struggling in order to be learning how to use this. This was a different student, very, very high achieving student, but when he got into creating this little Honda TRX, it took him like over a week or two, but he actually modeled every little piece bit by bit. Now, what would have been awesome would have been to take this another level and have him be able to 3D model it and put those pieces together. But again, sky's the limit. Like I wouldn't have had the idea or the concept to be able to make this, and yet there was this boy setting that up. This was another one, and this was with the third grade level, and this task was really basic. We actually went outside and we measured the planter boxes that were right outside the door, and then they constructed them, and then from there we had the conversations about what is the area and what is the perimeter. And so the area would be the soil, the perimeter would be the wood planter boxes. Now this one here is a gem and went to a whole nother level. This is 8th grade, and the student modeled a city and gave each part of the city a function in the cell. So if a city was a cell, or if a cell was a city, what would that look like? And so you see here, the mayor's office would be the nucleus, the fence would be the cell wall, the solar panels would be the chloroplast, the power plants would be the mitochondria, the police station would be the, where is it at? There's a police station in here somewhere. Oh, the police station would be the cell membrane. So very, very cool. Student constructed this all from scratch, and exceeded all my expectations. This was another one. The student just made the DNA and wasn't into the science content at all. But then after they made the DNA, I remember asking them, hey, so what do you so do you know what the parts are? And they said, no, and they started laughing. I have no idea. Well, do you want to know what they are? Yeah. And then that's where we were able to start having that conversation. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Autodesk TinkerCAD, and that's tinkercad.com. And I'm just going to kind of give you like a really basic thing that you could set up, like the little planter here. You're going to be creating a new design in TinkerCAD. I suggest that when you did log in, you logged in with your Google account, and it's the same account that you've been using all semester. And once you're here, you're going to see that you can drag and drop all these pieces over. So here's a basic planner. You could stretch it and squash it. The different parts of your mouse use different functions, so I suggest you mess around with those. So drag. You can make something else too. I'm making the little planter box because it's kind of the easier thing that we did. But if you want to go all out and you want to make your own Honda TRX, by all means. There's a ton of shortcuts. I'm not sharing the shortcuts with you, but if if you did get into this, you can use all of them. So for example, like Control D lets you duplicate something. Okay, so I have that set up, and that's my perimeter, and that's pretty much what I would be telling the kids. So all the wood is the perimeter. Ask them basic questions, what color is the wood, and those kids will start telling you it's red, dark red, this. What color is the soil, or what color is the dirt? What can we call the dirt? We could call it soil. And is the soil the area or the perimeter? The area. How do we find out how much soil there would be? Or how do we find out how big the area of the soil is? And then here in the basic shapes, you can find them. So let's see, text. How about this? You can just scroll down and you'll find the little, he's in here somewhere. Oh yeah, you'll find a bunch of cool stuff. So look, you could even make it brick. You could get custom. You start noticing the little kids go custom, and it becomes YOLO. I used to call it YOLO Friday. Like, whoa. We're getting carried away here, guys. So there's a little tree here somewhere, a plant. And if not, you can make your own plant. A high star, a limpet, shard. All kinds of cool shapes too. You can use it to teach shapes. Venetian slats. Man, I don't remember all these the last time I used them. Oh wait, I think I passed it. I just saw a tree. There you go. So drag my tree over here. It's a tree, but we'll call it a plant. I'm going to press Control D, and that's going to duplicate it. On your Mac, it would be something else. I think on the Mac, it would be, I can't remember. You're going to have to Google that. All right, so thanks for watching. Remember, get the kids creating, get the kids making, and let them design the components that are going to come out in their curriculum. The best thing, I think, is to start with something basic like this. And then from there, opening it up to them and tell them, like, what can you make? And then you'll see that there's always going to be kids that are going to shine in a way that they didn't shine before.